Welcome back to another AriasWave video. So you'll notice that I didn't provide an update after the last one saying that we're going to go to 118,000, etc. I didn't see any really good indication that the move was progressing as I thought it would. So I thought of just, I thought I'd just lay back and just observe. And today I kind of just went back and I said, you know what? Let's pull apart this wave a bit more because being a wave five, it is a weaker move, right? So if you didn't see that previous video, I'll link it down below. But in terms of the way this is progressing at this point, it just looks like we're still in wave three of that five wave move. Okay, so I've basically decided to lay it out like this, right? You had wave one to here, sharp wave two, and this is where wave three started to go up, right? So in that respect, we're looking at wave one, sharp wave two, alternation being small. So therefore, having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave four of wave three being a little bit more lengthier in that wave, for the wave three alternation between wave two and four of wave three. So therefore, taking the length of wave one of wave three, my new target would be 93,000, right? Now, I'm not taking this trade. I'm not taking this trade. I didn't see the pullback required, as mentioned in the last video. And I did see sort of funky price action at the highs. So if we just go to the highs for a minute, right? We do see that, yes, prices, when I last made the video, the price action was around here somewhere, right? And I said, okay, A, B, C, D was in progress. Actually, I think it might have been around even here or something like that. I can't remember. 29th of October. Let's have a look. 28th of October. 28th of October. Yeah. So it was around this area. Right? I thought, okay, A, B, C, D, E. But instead of seeing that move lower, we saw it continue higher and almost break the highs, but then come back down before the election and push higher. Now that to me is a bit strange because, okay, that means, okay, so a five wave move didn't complete at that point. Even though I sort of was saying that it kind of did. But when I saw this move higher, I just said, okay, fine. If that's the case, then we need to pull back before wave three starts. And that's fine. The pullback was shallow. I mean, pullbacks don't always have to be according to fib, especially impulsive moves. And I did see the potential here for an A, B, C, D, E pattern, like a sharp correction, right? I did see that. I'm like, okay, cool. That could be wave two. And then I thought, you know what? Stuff it. I'm just gonna observe this one. I'm gonna sit it out. And then we saw this, right? And you got to be careful around news events if you don't see anything worthy of I suppose like a good entry point. Because with AriasWave, you use the wave E break to go long. And this one here was almost halfway up the whole move that we saw during the election. And I thought, nah, it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. It's not great. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, if we only have that much more to go, then yeah, like we could see a bit of a blow off top happen. With the entry point for this particular move, maybe you could take it at a smaller degree. Maybe if I get creative, I'll zoom into here for a bit of a scalp type move, because those are pretty cool. I've done that before. Um, it's perfectly fine to do that, but it's a limited move, right? And that's fine. If you're a trader, limited move, no problem. But I suppose what I'm trying to say is it's not going to go as high as what I thought it's um it's not going to go as high as what I thought it was in the last video, because I then decided to pull apart the whole wave structure. And we're basically dealing with a weak 5-wave move, still impulsive, still got all its bits and pieces, but currently we're in wave 3. So we're in the last wave of wave 3. Now, Bitcoin does interesting things sometimes, and there's that good old alternation rule with the corrections, but there's also that alternation rule with the waves. Like, take for example, wave 1. When wave 1 is short and sharp, wave 3 and 5 tend to be. Sorry, when wave 1 is the shortest, wave 3 and 5 tend to be similar in length. Yes, we saw that here, right? Now, what's to say that wave 1 of wave 3 is the shortest wave, and that this wave will be the same length as wave 3? That's possible. So then we could potentially change the target to be, or not to be, 170,000 roughly, right? Wave 5 of wave 3, right? That is possible. So this here could turn into, even though it's a weak 5-wave move, could extend higher for whatever reason, overexcitement in the market, whatever the point is, right? Like, who cares about the reason? But if we're talking Bitcoin here, had this type of correction, it's pretty big. It doesn't make much sense, I suppose, when you're talking about Bitcoin, for it to only move up a little bit higher. So even though I missed the entry point because it wasn't worth it at that small degree, there still might be a chance of getting in at the even smaller degree, because we'd be in a trending wave 3 pattern. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is, like, if we created like a, just say this is like a 1, right? This is a 2. Well, then you'd get like your 1, 2 before you exploded higher. And now that makes sense. That's fine. I'm cool with that. So these subdivisions occur at the smallest degree possible. And it takes a little bit of basically like a lot of concentration and a lot of time to sort of pick apart these moves. At this point, it's hard to say, but if I zoomed in a little bit, like I am, to the minute chart even, right, I'd be able to see that potentially what we're dealing with here is an A, B, C, D, and E. So what we'd be looking at is a break of the highs to go long, right? So at a small degree, I'd be looking at a break of the last high. As long as we get a 5-wave move down, right? Hopefully not too large, because then wherever that 5-wave move ends, you'd want to have your stop right there. That would be like the end of wave E, to then basically wait for a break of the high and then put your stop below the end of wave E and then ride it up. Just ride it up, in a third of a third wave, basically. Basically keep that trade on. Just let it ride. That doesn't seem like a bad idea at this point. It makes sense. I don't see too much wrong with that idea apart from some funky internals here. I think that maybe I'm jumping the gun a little, and that this D wave at a small degree is not really having all the components integrated inside of it that could suggest that. So we might have another leg up for wave D, and then we might start to get that 5-wave move that I'm talking about. So I suppose I'll keep an eye on that one, because it's the only thing that I would trade that makes any kind of sense. A, B, C, D, E. Not the first time I've done it. It's definitely worth considering because of the small stop that you'd have compared to if you tried to trade it on a break of this particular wave here for wave E. If you try to go long on that one, you probably would be a little bit worried of your massive stop and the potential for this wave to come back down to retest this area. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. It might just come back to retest the break of the all-time high. That would be okay. And then that would be the new stop. And once we break that confirmation point, you'd go long, and then basically, just ride that out. So I'll see what happens here. I'll keep an eye on it as best as I can. And then if I see anything worthwhile, I'll post a video about it, because it's such a small degree. Like this, I suppose I could do it on a 15-minute chart, but I'll follow the 15-minute chart up with a video to explain that process. Because if we are going to go up for a massive wave 5 or wave 3, then we'd probably want to take advantage of that. And then that means that there's still other moves coming. So you'd want to take your profit, wait for correction. And I'll talk about the alternation between the next correction as well, because we have that info down below at the start of the video, as I showed you. And we'll take it from there. I'll catch you in the next one.